Today, I am going to show you how to double your current returns in WagyuSwap by using something simple, considered high level, but today we're going to make it simple. How to double using farming. Yes, we want your WagyuSwap to work for you whilst you're sleeping, whilst you're waiting for your next exit target, because it's flying. It's launched on the Valis blockchain. It's done its first launch on IDO in terms of Bit Orbit. Very, very successful. But we want to see how can we make our crypto work harder for us whilst we're waiting for exit points. If you like today's video, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. If you don't know me by now, my name is Jiggy. I'm the award-winning author of The Extraordinary New Venture Capital Opportunity, How to Invest Like a Pro. Been featured in the best-selling book, High Probability Trading Strategies, back in 2008, where I was normally focused on trading currencies, but now exclusive on crypto. So let's dive straight in. So if you saw my video it was the 4th of November, and I did a reminder. I said, look, on September 12th, we said WagyuSwap should be likely high probability, never certainties. High probability drop down to 20 cents, thereabouts, and then explode. And that's exactly what happened. So what we want to look at today is first, the price action, because I want to give you a high level picture of the buying and selling behavior of WagyuSwap, what we should anticipate, what current part of the psychology are we at, and what is the waiting period, and then how can we make our crypto work harder for us? If you've got WagyuSwap, how can we make it work for you so you increase the amount you hold? So let's go into the technicals first. So let's dive into a live chart. So let's have a look. We're on Dex Tools. We're using Dex Tools because WagyuSwap. So this is currently WagyuSwap, right? This is the price action. So if you saw my video on September 12th, it was around here was the video, and I said we should anticipate this kind of correction. We drew it really, really clearly, and it did. It hit like 22 cents, and then it just exploded. But what does that mean in terms of buying and selling behavior, and what should we anticipate? And I'm guessing there's going to be a waiting period, a profit-taking period, which markets are going to likely move sideways to down. It's in Wagyu, the Wagyu market. And then whilst we're waiting, how can we accumulate? So let's just draw this out. So typically, markets move in a 5-wave structure, right, on an impulsive wave. This here is a nice wave, well, it looks like a wave 1, a nice wave 2. I'm going to draw this out because it's really, really important that we understand this. A wave 3, looks like we're at the stage of a wave 4, and this is what we're going to focus on. And then after a wave 4, we should anticipate. I'm going to draw these lines back in later on. We should anticipate high probability, never certainties, a wave 5. Like this, right? So let's now draw this out. Let's just draw it out like this. I'm going to keep it simple. Let's keep it simple. Let's just draw it out like this. Wave 1. Oh, here we go. I'm going to draw it like this. Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. Looks like we're forming some type of wave 4, 5, 4, and then followed by a 5. All right, so what I want you to focus on first of all, because we want to have perspective, we want to know that the market's just done an amazing sprint, right? WagyuSwap's done an amazing sprint, right? Amazing sprint. It did some amazing rewards for the WagyuSwap DEX, and people were flocking to buying Wagyu because the rewards were amazing. But we're going to cover that as well. That's what we're going to use today. But what we want to see is what should we anticipate next with Wagyu, and what can we do to maximize our returns, maximize, high probability stuff. All right, well, what we're going to look at first of all is wave 4, right? Wave 4 typically moves as a correction into 3 waves. It's a typical profit-taking wave. Bump, bump, bump is what we should anticipate. There's 2 things that we want to look at that I want to really make clear to you because it's going to help. It's going to help. It's valuable information. First of all, typical wave 4 corrections. Let's draw this out here. Is 38 to 52 to 50 to 62% retracement, right? Here's the price range. Also, there's this principle of alternation, right? By the way, when we use candlesticks, we can see that the price data down here was much lower, but on closing data, it goes a bit higher. But we're calling this a wave 2. what this looks like to me is a relatively complex correction. It's not a very clean A, B, C. Now, when wave 2 is complex, wave 4 will tend to be simple. There's a principle of alternation. Now, what that means is we can actually measure how long did it take for this wave 2 to form, and we can have high probability that the wave 4 should take less time. Less time. That's what this red line is. Right? I drew this in advance. That's what this red line is. So we anticipate the wave 4 to complete before, don't know if it gives me a date. I think it's before the end of the month. Before the end of the month, right? Before the end of the month. Also, there's something else really, really important, because a lot of people are asking the question, will be asking the question, Jagir, is this the end of a wave 4? Well, a wave 4 is a corrective wave, is a profit-taking wave, and it tends to be overlapping waves. But when you have a 5-wave sequence that's not overlapping, it's likely that this is a wave A. This is important to understand for the whole principle of what we're doing here today, by the way. We want to get a high probability. How do we maximize? How can we almost double your rewards with no real extra risk? This looks like a wave A. Oh. We won't draw all of them out, but I just want to make this really clear. A wave A coming down. We should anticipate a wave B, A, B, C over B, and then a completion of the correction like this, something like this, right? And we should anticipate it will happen before this date here. Doesn't give us a date down here, it's just the way Dex Tools is, but it's around before the end of the month. We should anticipate a wave 4 correction. So what do we do whilst we're waiting? Because if it forms into a nice ABC correction, what do we anticipate next? Well, we anticipate the market to continue, right, on the upward trend, right? That's what typically happens. So what we're anticipating is a nice continuation to some type of range like this. We can forecast or what we anticipate. Let me do that for you, because I think you'll find it helpful. Let's just get a candlestick out. Let's just do a basic wave 5. This is guessing because we haven't got the wave 4 confirmed, but a typical maximum and a typical very common wave 5 range is this range here. So anything from around $3 to just under $4. $3 to $4 is what we can anticipate with high probability with WagyuSwap. Never certainties, only probabilities. Okay, that's important, right? So you got a nice overview of WagyuSwap, right? It's healthy, it's strong, it's new, it's the pancake swap of Valus blockchain, it's the Uniswap of Valus blockchain, very, very strong. So what we want to focus on today, I said at the beginning, how to double your current returns on Wagyu, right? So we're saying that it's likely to hit $3. Kind of tagged $3 earlier, but we're going to really smash through $3, possibly get to around $4 with Wagyu. And whilst we're being patient, can we earn extra Wagyu? Well, this is what I want you to show you today, right? This is what I wanted to show you today. Right? So whilst we're waiting, we want to stack our coins. Can we increase our holding of Wagyu? We want more coins as we anticipate the price to appreciate. So you might have heard of something called yield farming or pools or liquidity pools, liquidity providers. Basically, protocols like Wagyu want your attention. They want your participation. They want your coins. They want you to kind of be there. And to attract you, they give you rewards. And initially, the rewards are really, really high. And as more people stake, as more people participate, the rewards tend to decrease. So what we want to look at today is, we're going to keep it simple because there's a few high-level things we can do, but we want to jump into Wagyu. So if we go to the WagyuSwap website, it looks like this, gives you 3 options. You know, the DEX is open, so we can stake, we can swap, and the lottery systems are coming soon. You can read the website, but we want to click on, I'm going to click on swap, right? Well, here's one I clicked earlier. So this looks identical to PancakeSwap, and that's no accident. Why? And it also looks identical to Uniswap, but more PancakeSwap. PancakeSwap is one of the most popular blockchains, right? The most. So there's no extra learning curve or very little extra learning curve. But on the left-hand side, you got trade, so you can swap just like PancakeSwap. You got farms, We can create farms. These are the farms that are available, saying you can create an LP token with VLX and Wagyu, VLX and ETH, VLX and BUSD, etc. These are the current APRs, and you can compound, so you can really accumulate. You can click the calculators. But what we're going to focus on today is the pools. We click on pools up here on the left, and you'll see that there's two pools. It says auto WAG and manual WAG. All that means is if we click on this, it tells us, it says the current compounded APY is 9,230%. So basically what this tells us is if we compound once a day, the annual APY becomes 9,000%. So whilst you're holding your Wagyu, rather than doing nothing with it and just having it sitting in your wallet, you can actually stake it into this special crypto bank account, and they're going to pay you APY return, so you can increase the amount of Wagyu you have. So if you're going to sell in around 30 days, you're just going to have more Wagyu by up to 50 to 100% extra Wagyu. Now, the APY does move. It was a lot higher a few days ago and a few weeks ago, or around a week ago, because it only went live around a week ago, a few days ago. But we can kind of just estimate. So up here, the auto WAG, I'm going to do a live example for you so you kind of get the feel for it, is auto compounding. I believe it compounds for you once a day automatically, and it charges you an extra fee. It says it's a 0.1% withdrawal fee. There's a 2% performance fee, right? But it will automatically do it for you. The bottom one, however, you can see it says APR. APR just means it's the same interest rate, but without the compounding. But you can manually compound once a day, twice a day, 4 times a day. It's up to you. But you can manually compound, but there's no extra fee. So you can choose which one's suitable for yourself. So shall we have a go? Shall we stake? I've got a wallet. I'm gonna set you up. Let's do it. So what we're gonna do first, we're gonna buy some Wagyu. If you haven't got no Wagyu already, you can go to WagyuSwap. We're gonna assume you're already set up with your Valus wallet or your Valus MetaMask. You can set that up, and you need some VLX for your gas. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna buy some Wagyu. I've put some BUSD in here earlier, and we want some Wagyu. Yes, I'm gonna buy $20. $20 Wagyu. First, you have to enable it, just the same as PancakeSwap. Valus is fast. Like, check this out. It's just fast. It's just like boom, done. It's faster than Binance Smart Chain. Boom. Look at this. Look how fast it is. Once we confirm, let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Around 3-4 seconds. Bang. It is fast. So we've now got 14.5 Wagyu, just for this example, right? So now we're going to do, we're going to go to the pools. We're going to click back on the pools, and we're going to do both of these. They got this auto farm up here as well. It's a bounty. You can actually help the auto compounding and get some extra Wagyu. Look, we just got some extra Wagyu. There you go. Anyway, that was just me just doing that. So let's just do the auto farm first. First, you have to enable. Click enable. The transaction fees are tiny, by the way, tiny on the Valus blockchain. Then we're just going to click stake. How much you want to stake? You can click max. We've got 14.5 Wagyu. Let's just do half of our Wagyu. Let's do 50%. 7.25. Let's confirm. Boom. That's it. Done. Okay, you locked in for a minimum of 3 days, right? So we can't unstake for 3 days. You can stake more if you put more Wagyu in here. Let's just say you wanted to stake more, but it'll restart the timer. But it will just automatically accumulate here. And once a day, it will just stake it, and then it will just keep compounding. Now, with the one down below, exactly the same process. And the only difference is, so we're going to enable it. Yep. Let's go. There we go. And then we're going to do the remaining Wagyu. Again, there's only a tiny amount. I'm just doing it so you can kind of see it, because a lot of people, if you're not used to staking, it can be a bit confusing. But that's it. It's done. So now our Wagyu on the bottom account, we can withdraw this anytime we want. We can withdraw this anytime we want. No fees, but you have to manually stake. If you want, you can. Look, we've already achieved a 0.00003 amount of Wagyu we can collect, and it gives us the option. We can harvest, which means it will go into your wallet, But you can compound, which means it just goes straight into the compounding, into the staking account. Confirm, we're going to compound. It's a bit soon. I'm just kind of showing you for the sake of it. Boom. So you see it. Done. Compounded. And then you'll see that goes to 0. It pops over to the other side and it's done. That's it. So now you can just let your Wagyu work away for you whilst you sleep. The top one, you don't need to take any action because it compounds for you once a day, every day. The bottom one, you have to do it manually. You can just let it build up and then pop it across. So let's go to, with this exchange Wagyu, if you click on more, they got ducks. So we click on ducks. I just thought just so you know this, you kind of read on this. You can go, the liquidity pools, the farming tool pools. But what we've got is the sizzle pools. That's what we just participated in. How it works, how to stake. It's got the instructions here if you wanted the step-by-step article as well. But what I want to finish on is back to the technicals, right? So now, what are we doing? We are being patient and to say, look, this is just my take on this. High probabilities, never certainties. I believe Wagyu is going to surpass $3, likely get close to $4. So rather than selling now, what we can do is just accumulate. And what the math tells us, if we just jump back in here, actually, this one, they've got this little calculator here, and let's use the bottom one, actually. Let's use the bottom one, right? Because it's a bit clearer. It's the same thing pretty much once we use the data. It says, how long are you going to stake for? We're going to stake for 30 days. How much US dollar worth of Wagyu are you staking? Let's say it was $1,000. How often are you going to compound? Let's say we're compounding once a day. That's what the auto farm does, once a day. It tells us we're going to get an extra $450 worth of Wagyu. That's 45%, right? And the current price is around just under $1.50, and we're anticipating it's going to double. So we're going to have twice the amount of Wagyu, and the price is going to double. So now you're going to increase the probability of, just having and making money. So hopefully that makes sense. You can play with these calculators. This one up here is also, it should give you the same number, I think. Let's say it was 1,000 and we said 30 days. It's give or take the same number minus the fees. There's a few fees. But you'll see we're going to get an extra $445 worth at the current APY and the APR, knowing, and it is important to know, I was saying this to my friends, is the APY will continuously decrease as more and more people participate, right? It's just there's less rewards, or the same amount of rewards to go around, but there's more people. So the amount per person or amount per wallet is going to decrease. That's natural. So these APRs and APYs were a lot higher a few days ago. That's normal for yield farming and farms and pools. The APYs and APRs are really, really high. And then as people participate, then they kind of average out. So don't be overly surprised if this drops down to 7,000% and then 6,000, 5,000, 2,000, 1,500. But they're still good APYs. But the main lesson of today is that you're going to be holding your Wagyu anyway. So you might as well get an extra 45% of your tokens. If you've got 10,000 Wagyu tokens, by the end of the month, just by putting them into the pool, you'll have almost 1,500 Wagyu. Right? So you got an extra 400 to 500 tokens, give or take. Let's just call it even 300 tokens with the APY dropping. But it's just increasing the probability of you making money. You're going to have more tokens. You're going to have more profit, and so on and so forth. Make sense? Good. I thought I'd just share that with you because, it's not intuitive. Everything is difficult before it's easy. So let's read a quote, and it's really, really relevant. It's from my book, chapter 2. It's Warren Buffett. Rule number 1, never lose money. Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. This, staking. Because sometimes you just have to understand the game, what's available to you. And if you don't understand what's available to you, well, if you don't know, you don't know. So now you know that these ecosystems, like the Wagyu ecosystem, wants and needs you. It wants you to participate. Saying, I want you as a customer. I want your tokens to be staked in our protocol. It helps with liquidity. You can learn the farming as well. The farms, we have a liquidity token. We can have an LP token. You have to have 2 tokens and you pull them together. You can read the docs. Once you kind of read it and kind of test it out, they've made it relatively intuitive. But what I want you to know is you can increase your Wagyu whilst you're holding your Wagyu, because you might be waiting for a $3 to $4 price target for your next exit. But rather than just having 1,000 tokens, you can potentially have 1,300 to 1,400 tokens by the end of the month. So if you like today's video, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, read the markets like a pro. Take my free Elliott Wave and Fibonacci masterclass, which is how we're looking at the markets. And you'll see it just kind of pegs it more often than not, but we do probabilities, never certainties. But it's important that we know that there's buying and selling behavior. And we're currently on, in terms of Wagyu, a profit-taking wave, which is wave 4. We also know that wave 2 was complex. That means more often than not guaranteed, more often than not, what's typical is wave 4 will be simple, A, B, C. So we know before the end of the month, we're highly probably going to see an end of a wave 4, boom, to a wave 5. And then you should hopefully have an extra 20, 30, 40, 50% extra Wagyu so you can maximize your gains, minimize your risk, and do really, really well in this bull run. Like today's video. I'll see you soon.